From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunab Ku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
It's just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.
We were there in the beginning of time, and we will always be here. We were created in the abyss of the darkness and space. At the first explosion of energy which forged the creation of stars, planets, meteorites, and the like, our souls were there. We were energy floating as we witnessed the great explosions in the darkness where everything was birthed. We are on a journey of remembrance. Our bodies are made of stardust. These stars eventually exploded as supernovas, scattering these elements across the galaxy. Our solar system, including Earth, formed from a cloud of gas and dust that contained these elements, making us and everything around us descendants of stars. We are not just part of the universe. We are the universe itself, woven from the fabric of stars. Our existence is a continuous remembrance of the moments in time when we first emerged from the cosmic void. We walk this earth with the wisdom and memories of the universe embedded in our very being. As we look to the skies, we are reminded of our origins and the eternal bond we share with the universe.
All right, in Lakesh, just quickly doing a sound check. Am I being heard clearly? Everybody hear me? All right. Well, it is a phenomenal opportunity to be back here with Sync Talk with Nev Taharka, Kanish Kawak, and to be able to talk about the synchronicities on our path of enlightenment and our journey of remembrance. So it is a great delight for me to be here. And those of you who get a chance to listen, you are truly in for a treat. All right. Well, again, my name is Nev Taharka Kanishkawak, and I am the founder and chancellor of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. This is what I would consider a great place to evolve, a great place to tap into our spiritual and our uh, energetic gifts that are pretty much oftentimes blocked by the artificial programs that run our lives. And so I was listening to something. There was a brother on TikTok. He really broke down the matrix. And what he said about the matrix, and I forget his name because I want to give him credit for this because it's really good the way he simplified and articulated this. He said that the matrix, right? What it does is it keeps you in your physical experience. So we have a physical experience, we have a spiritual experience, and then we have an energetic experience, energetic in the mind, right? Mind, spirit, and body. And we experience the mind through energy, right? And that's why frequency is so important. But he said what the matrix does is keeps us trapped in the physical until we figure out how to evolve beyond it. And I would like for Sync Talk to be something that can help us move beyond the physical. I mean, think about it. A lot of us are trapped in our emotions. We're trapped in our feelings. We feel like somebody's betraying us. We feel like how we felt when we experienced a certain degree of trauma. We feel like something bad is about to happen. And we get so busy into feeling like we get trapped in all these programs, right, with our feelings and emotions that we can't get out, that we create conflicts and complex situations. And what I'm offering and what I want to do to speak to those who are looking to get out of that trap is to show you how being on natural time, right, frees your mind. Your time and your mind become one. Time being the evolution of consciousness. Now you're able to be more than you thought you were, right? And it's so important that we are able to do that because right now we're fighting over who's going to govern our mental. You know, we're trying to make it to the weak end instead of the strong end. You know, we go through a saga called the days of the week, right? And so, how do these are all programs that are reinforcing us to be trapped in the physical by the artificiality or artificial intelligence. And as we begin to evolve and really take this seriously, not only what's interesting about it, that there's a few people that this gonna make sense to, and you're not gonna need a lot of pain to make you change. You know, I had went through so much adversity a little over 10 years ago, and by the time came in contact with this knowledge, I said, wow. I said, this is amazing. I said, it's not going to take much for me to comply because I already tried it another way. I already tried the religious program, right? But And I already tried the educational program, and I already tried, the different Pan-African programs. And so what I'm saying is all these different programs keep us locked into the physical experience that we're having on this earth. And what I want to do today is show you how loving yourself is so essential, what that looks like. That if you love yourself, you're going to free yourself, right, from these physical programs that allow yourself to advance spiritually and allow you to tap into your cosmic gifts and your galactic powers. But you got to get off of artificial time. Every time that we think we evolving and we go back to unnatural cycles, it brings us back to a frequency that keeps us locked into the physical. So there's only so far we can go, right? It's only so far that we can go if we continue to follow the Gregorian calendar and these programs that keep us trapped in our feelings. So, for those of you who don't know, I study and teach Olmec and Mayan cosmology. Reason why I do, I was really impressed with those guys and how they were following over 17 different, up to 17 different calendrical systems. And these calendrical systems had them thinking different, but when they were thinking different, they were able to be more telepathic. They were able to be more clairvoyant, clairaudient. The like for example, the Dogon tribe, they were able to see stars up close and personal, star systems without a telescope. And so, and they drew all the drawings on the walls. And when people came and researched, they said, "Well, how were you able to do that? There were no telescopes back then." See, our mind is the greatest telescope. We follow the 13 moon calendar as it relates to star Sirius. Now, when you talk about the 13 moon calendar, we're talking about the lunar cycles of the moon, right? And the moon, there's all this different talk about the moon, but just think about it. It takes 28 days for the moon to revolve around the sun and to revolve around the earth. And in it revolving around the earth, guess what it's affecting? It's affecting the water on the earth. And on the earth, it's over 70% water, and our bodies are made up of 70% water. So, guess what happens? Most of the time, what we don't understand, the lunar cycles are affecting our emotional intelligence. And so being able to link to the cycles not only helps solidify our emotional intelligence, but it helps with our creativity. Guess what else has 13 cycles a year? The female reproductive system, right? The female reproductive system is said to menstruate when it's normal, on normal cycles, every 28 days. Okay, so why are we taking 30 and 31? We're trying to cram 13 cycles into 12. And this is why we're all scrambled and chaotic and conflicted into being trapped into this physical reality that is controlled by what many of us call the matrix. So if you want to get free of the matrix, there's some things that you're going to have to do or with yourself, your daily practices, what cycles you follow, and how you access memory. Write that down. How you access memory. I like to call our journey back to the source a journey of remembrance. Because if we came from the source, then we need to remember, right, how we left and how we're going to get back. But this journey of memory, I've heard many different things. I've even heard a scientist say that we have over 100 million years of memory stored in our brain. Now, I want you to allow that to sink in for a minute. We have over 100 million years of memory stored in our brain. What kind of being walks around a planet with all that memory and doesn't use it? Instead of us using our memory, we use artificial intelligence's memory. We use the memory of a cell phone or a device. And so, even though there are some wonderful things you can do on this device, it pales in comparison to what we can tap into within ourselves. And so today's topic is loving yourself is essential for what? For life. Loving yourself. What does loving yourself look like? I want you to take some notes here. One of the things that I recommend, that if you really love yourself, one of the things you'll do is start learning how to listen to your intuition. You know why people don't listen to their intuition? Because it's coming from a higher state of consciousness than where they operating on. So usually when we ask our intuition, or we ask God for some help, and or we pray for help, right? Prayer is us speaking to God, right? And intuition is God speaking to us, right? And so here we are praying, and oh God, I need to pay these bills. We need to pay these bills. Oh, I need to get this for my children. God, I'm just tired of struggling. God, this, God, that. We don't know how to even pray, but we're praying to God. We're talking to God. And then God speaks to us through intuition. All right. This is what you're going to have to do to get over that issue that you prayed about. And so the difference is the level of consciousness you were when you got into the problem in the circumstance that you need to pray about. You see, intuition is coming from a higher state of consciousness than that. So it might not always seem like it's a fit. But one of the things you must do if you want to escape the matrix and the programs, right, is you're going to have to listen to your intuition. That's a sign that you love. You know, if you have parents and you never listen to them, they could question, do you really love me? I mean, why would I do anything to hurt you? You really love me? Do you really love somebody if you're not willing to listen to them? We have to think about that. Let's talk about something else. If you really love yourself, here's another one to write down. You need to confide in yourself. That's where self-confidence comes from. Now, I want to label the self as the power of God and the essence of God in you, right? So if you really love yourself and you don't have the confidence, now let's just say that you know that you have unlimited power in you through God. The God in you gives you access to unlimited power, right, in the universe. And we never use it. Let me call up my cousin. He's good with advice. Let me see what advice he can give me about my marriage. Let me call up my best friend and see what their advice is, because I'm thinking about leaving this job. They might be trying to do something on this job that I'm not used to. They may be trying to phase me out. Well, oh man, let me call my mom. Let me call my mom, because I just don't know about this relationship between me and my children. Well, let me call my father and ask him some questions, because I'm a grandfather now, and I'm kind of having a hard time with certain things in terms of how my children are doing things. Whatever it is, you don't confide in your mom, you don't confide with your dad or your whoever. You confide with yourself first. That's where you gain confidence, because if you have unlimited power within yourself, why would you need to go outside of yourself for an opinion that may or may not line up with what it is you are attempting to do? Why would we do that? You see? So if you love yourself, then you need to confide in yourself. And this translates into self-confidence, because once yourself, the power of God in you, right, responds and helps you get out of the situation that you got yourself into, you might have thought was impossible to get out of, your confidence is going to increase or decrease. It's going to increase. And every time your confidence increase, every time your belief increase, every time your faith and your knowledge increases, and you experience that increase in your heart, your frequency goes up and you become more magnetic, or you develop the ability to magnetize an equivalent frequency on the material plane. Now, how many of us want to do that? I've said this several times that frequency is the currency, that your energy is going to determine not just what you attract, but how fast or how slow you attract it. If you are operating in anger, pride, guilt, desires, right? If you're apathy, guilt, let me tell you something. You are lowering your frequency and to attract a material equivalency in that frequency in the form of what? A circumstance. And that circumstance, watch this, is going to program you to believe that that is a permanent fixture in your life. And this is how the matrix starts taking root over your mind, like an algorithm that records your every move. And as it records you, it knows what your response is going to be because your response are triggered in patterns. We're habitual beings. So if you really love yourself, you want to be able to identify these patterns so that you can undo what you just did. And some of us, and let me tell you what I had to do. I had to unlearn a lot of what I learned. I had to do a brain dump. You know what I'm saying? I had to get Rufus out of my head. The Rufus will get in your head while you're driving someplace, and you know that ain't gonna work, right? You know the last time you tried that, you failed, right? You know they're gonna piss you off, right? And you ain't even had it happen yet. But again, we're going on past performance. And we've heard this before, that past performance is an indicator of future progress. And it is if you performed at a high level, but also past non-performance, right? Past failures is an indicator of future failures too, if that's what you're focused on, right? So if you love yourself, right? Loving yourself is essential. You will focus on the programs that advance you and help you perform at a level that's respectable versus non-compliance and non-performance type activity or failure. There's nothing wrong with failure because there's no such thing really as failure. Failure is fertilizer. You see? Failure is fertilizer. And you just make sure that you're failing and you're learning the lessons of failure. And that is part of success. You cannot have success without failures. So if you really love yourself, focus on the activities that advance you towards what? Your purpose. That's the next thing. Love. If loving yourself is essential, if you love yourself, then you will make sure you're living on purpose. Purpose. Well, Neb Taharka, what if I don't know my purpose? Well, we need to have a conversation because you couldn't even get into this physical realm without a purpose. If you came from the etheric realm, that you share that perspective with me. You had to get up here. And here's the thing, watch this. You were already equipped from the etheric realm as a spiritual being activating your human body. You were already prepared to overcome any challenge that you experience in the physical realm. There's a spiritual solution for every single solitary problem that you're going to have that you hadn't had yet. It was already solved through purpose and before you even came into the physical body. So when we have issues in our tissues, it's important that you understand and understand that, look, there's already a solution for this. You see? So if you really love yourself, you're going to live on purpose and you're going to know that there is a spiritual solution to every physical problem that you can experience, that you will experience. If you love yourself, you know that. You know that. Because now you don't have to deal with hopelessness and despair. You know, there's a solution for this. I love what Louise Hay says, all is well. The universe is working everything out in my favor. Only good will come out of this situation, and I am safe. That means that this situation may be hard, but it can't hurt me. You see? And no matter how bad it looks and what you can, this program can create an illusion to make me think like that all is well and only good is going to come from it. All I need is a nanosecond because light travels at 299 million kilometers per second. All I need is a crack in the door and a glimmer of light, and I will prevail. That only good is going to come out of this. And you might see I'm sinking, and you might just see my arm. I used to like watching wrestling and Hulk Hogan, they'll be beating him up, and then all of a sudden his arm will start shaking, and then he'll get up and look at you, and then you'll hit him and he'll turn his head. And that's how you got to look at your circumstances. Like you just tapped into the light. You just tapped into your energetic light body, and you remembered, wait a minute, I'm a God in the body, not a number, not a worm. And I already was equipped with everything that I came here with before I even became physical. So I'm not going to let these circumstances punk me. I'm not going to let them punk me. I already know that I know who I am, and what I came here to do was beyond the physical. So that means the physical can't trap me. And that's why loving yourself is essential. Here's another thing. You'll show yourself and others compassion. In compassion, there's a compass. And that's where you show somebody the way. So you ain't got to sympathize and feel sorry for somebody. But you'll take somebody and say, hey, this is where we're going to go to correct this and make this right. See? This is what we're going to do. So you got to show yourself compassion. So what the compass is showing you the way. The compass eye on. Right? Compassion. The compass I'm on. The path I'm on. The journey of remembrance. The ability to raise up instead of falling into the sunken place. And so we're having this podcast because I can tell the people out here suffering. And I hope that and I trust, and I'm going to count on those of you who are in this live stream to share it with some people, that it will inspire them, because their bills, they got some people right now that's on the verge of getting evicted in the wintertime. You can't give up in the wintertime. It's too cold out there. So you can't give up in the wintertime and be evicted. You can't lose your vehicle in the wintertime. You see, some people about to lose their vehicle right now. They can't keep up with it. And they look good on the outside, but on the inside, living in quiet desperation, about to give up hope. And so if you love yourself, and love in yourself is essential, you can never give up. And you got to know that the Spirit of God in you is taking you through this path to equip you in a way for the next assignment. That you being equipped for the next assignment that you don't even know that you're about to be on yet. And you'll call your friends and just say, I don't know if I can take anymore. You'll call your mom, you call your dad. I've never been through anything like this. You'll be ashamed that you're not able to do more for your children because of what you're going through right now. And you don't know this whole time, the power of God in you is equipping you for the next assignment, and you're ready to give up on this assignment. And so if you really love yourself, you can never give up. Quitting is not an option, right? Quitting is not an option. And a winner will never quit, and a quitter will never win. And so, how can you quit on yourself? When I say yourself, the power of God that brought you here from the ethers into the physical body with every solution that's necessary for you to overturn whatever's happened to you in this physical reality. There's not any problem in the physical reality. And that's what the matrix is. The matrix will make you think that you're going to expire and not inspire. And so I wanted to share this with you. This is somebody somewhere. This is going to inspire you to keep going and keep going and keep going. And although it looks grim and dim, to keep going. And you're going to feel bad, but keep going. It's gonna seem like they're talking about you and disrespecting you. Keep going. Here's another one. If you love yourself, and loving yourself is essential, keep going. Keep going. They don't know how to appreciate you yet. Keep going and be kind anyway. Okay? You can't seem to be consistent and persistent. Keep going anyway. You question yourself and your word and your integrity. Keep going anyway. Yep, keep going. And then what you're going to realize is why you had to keep going, or what kept you going was essential because of what you had to discover about yourself that you didn't already know. And it's going to feel like that nightmare that's trying to hold you down. But you don't know how much strength you're gaining by keeping going. Today we're in the galactic hawk moon of we're in the moon eighth, the eighth moon, which is the galactic moon, right? And the galactic moon, the plasma that we're on is Dali, which is like the first day of the week. We don't use that language because we ain't in days and we ain't in the week. Okay, let's stop that right now. So the program is so subtle. The programs of the matrix, they keep you in your physical body so long, they get you excited about talking about being in the days and being weak. And they get you excited about talking about the weekend of things. You don't know it's creating atrophy in your mind. Yep. Celebrating your own demise. They got you doing that. And that's another trick they use to keep you in the illusion, keep you trapped in the matrix, keep you trapped in the program, to keep you in the physical. As long as they keep you in the physical and your perspective is from the physical, then you can't beat the matrix. But the moment you say, how do I evolve spiritually? How do I take this energy and go beyond the mind? It's out of the matrix's jurisdiction. And now this holographic projection we call life takes on a different meaning and a different purpose because you realize you're more different than you ever were. You're more than a physical. You're more than a spiritual. And you're all three of these: spiritual, right? Physical, and the energetic light body all together. And that's what makes you more powerful than the matrix. That's what makes you not have to be controlled, that your own human absolute intelligence is far greater than artificial intelligence could ever be. And when you realize that and appreciate that, you now have just taken yourself beyond the program and into the synchronicity. So today, right, we're on Dali on the eighth moon, which is the galactic hawk moon. And there's a question that each moon asks. I want you to listen to this, those of you listening, because this is a moon of evolution. That the lunar cycles are establishing a greater emotional level of intelligence so that you can access your absolute intelligence. You can only access the amount of absolute and cosmic intelligence that your emotional intelligence will allow you to access. So if you're on an emotional roller coaster, you ain't gonna access but so much of your intelligence. And so the question that this moon asks is, do I live what I believe? Now you ask yourself, we're in February and we're on February the 14th. And the illusion is that if you get a gift, someone a gift, they love you. And they may be manipulating you, and you may be manipulating yourself like never before. Just living and can't wait for the next Valentine's Day. But when you get that gift or you give that gift, and whatever you want from that person or they want for you, ask that question: do I live what I believe, or am I just in the moment for a temporary benefit to cover up a permanent problem? Do I live what I believe? And wait for the answer. And if you don't live what you believe, don't beat yourself up. Ask for solutions. How can I? Is a great question to pose your brain, because now you just forced your brain to come up with solutions, right? Dali is connected to the crown chakra, and as we access, right, cosmic intelligence from this crown chakra, it also activates one of the 260 expressions of the creator we call kin. And today, Dali is in sync with the 67th expression out of 260 of the creator. And that expression is called the blue lunar hand. There's an affirmation that comes with this. Listen to this affirmation. It states, I polarize in order to know. So I have to break things down and analyze them so I can know the absolute truth. Stabilizing healing. When I know I can heal myself. I seal the store of accomplishment. Now that I'm healed, I can accomplish. With the lunar tone of challenge, I'm using the challenge to strengthen my memory and become my gift once I master the challenge. And I'm guided by the power of self-generation. Did you know that self-generation is the Hunab Kuz, which is the source of all creation, love for itself and love for us? It's the exemplar, right? We're guided by this storm, which is the power of self-generation. And this power of self-generation shows us first that the gene ration of God that we want to first tap into is the love for self, the power of God in us. And the way you love yourself is not only how you will love everything else, but how everything else will love you. Let's read this affirmation 2 more times before we end. I polarize in order to know, stabilizing healing. I seal the store of accomplishment with the lunar tone of challenge. I am guided by the power of self-generation. One more time for 3 to lock it in. I polarize in order to know, stabilizing my healing. Somebody out there that's going to listen to this is going through some health challenges, and they need to be healed of those health challenges. And if that's you, that's somebody I want to talk to you to show you how to activate the healing power within yourself so that you can get the answers on how to heal from the inside out. With the lunar tone of challenge, I am guided by the power of self-generation, self-love, that you can heal yourself because you love yourself. And if loving yourself is essential, then you got to activate the power of healing and heal yourself. Now, you may or may not see it necessary to study this cosmology like I have, because to study the cosmology is to study yourself and to tap into self-mastery. You study the universe and you end up mastering yourself. And what mastering yourself looks like is loving yourself. And what loving yourself looks like is abundance and you prospering financially. That's what loving yourself looks like. Yeah, your health. You start healing in areas and miracles that they don't know. You defy the odds. You defy medicine and science as you knew it because you're healing yourself from the power of God is incomprehensible. And magically your relationships start to line up different because they were reflecting something in you that you didn't know was hurting you. And so you decided to start healing yourself. And then in healing yourself, your relationship started to improve as well. You see? And so if you're somebody on here that needs more of this knowledge, you need to learn how to get out the matrix, first of all, right? To get out of the physical. If you don't get out of the physical, you're always going to feel like a program. And that program is going to create an illusion. And that illusion is going to elude you into the artificial matrix that traps gods in a paradigm that they can't get out of you. As long as you stay in the physical, and you can be taught every spiritual concept, but you don't know how to get it mentally out of the physical. You don't know how to mentally get out of the physical aspect of money. You're only stuck in the physical aspect of healing. You're stuck in the physical aspect of marriage and divinity. You're stuck in the physical aspect of spirituality. You'll never evolve. You'll never evolve. And so if you're somebody like how I am seeking to evolve like me, this message is for you. And it's time for you and us to have a conversation about how you can access this, not just week by week, or we call it week or heptad, not just day by day, but moment by moment. You can have access to this power from yourself first. And as you're able to tap into this in yourself, now you can show that joy and compassion to others so they can access themselves as well. And we can change the consciousness of this planet one person at a time. We can do it, right? The last thing, if you love yourself, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest about where you are in the process. You can't overinflate where you are, allowing your ego to run rampant and create illusions of the self that set you up for failure. No more. If you really love yourself, you got to be honest with yourself. And if you're being honest with yourself right now and you know that you need to change and you know that you need to evolve, definitely reach out to me, DM me, so that we can have a conversation of what that looks like for you. Because the time is now. And these programs, they're only getting more powerful. These programs are only going to help you become more disillusioned. And these programs are going to make you think it's absurd to love yourself, like how I'm talking about you loving yourself right now. And as a result, you will stay trapped in the physical. And the matrix, as we know it, as I described it, will control your demise, help you self-sabotage, and set you up for ultimate failure. Ashe? So to learn more about Mayan and Olmec cosmology, I'm telling you, this is the key to advances. We are truly shifting from the information age into the telepathic age of our experience on this planet. And you're not here by an accident if you run across this knowledge, because there's a whole cosmology in a synchronic order that orders your steps so you understand how to build your covering. Also, you can take a look at our online school at www.synchronistichuman.com, the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, the perfect place for you to evolve. I say, all right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Does anybody have any questions before I go? This has been a phenomenal. I just love the vibe that we have here. And so if you find yourself having some questions, just please email me or DM me, whether it's on Facebook or IG, or if it's on YouTube. And let's start and share a dialogue, and let's evolve together. Because here's what I know. Evolution is the solution. So on behalf of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, all of the faculty and staff, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to this powerful message. And I look forward to seeing you triumph over your circumstances and access the spiritual and energetic realms of your beingness. And so I will end by saying, in Lakesh, which means I am another you. Alakim means you are another me. Hotep, Hetipu, and Namaste. And remember, evolution is the solution. This is going to conclude our session. Oh, by the way, those of you that want to join us tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. on our Living Abundantly in the New Time, I highly recommend that you do that. We'll put the link in the chat so you can access it tomorrow. It's free to the public, or those of you that listen to this and like this message, join us for Living Abundantly in the New Time. And we're going to be getting started. Get on there at 10:25, get a few minutes early. It's going to be incredible. And I want to continue to dialogue with you and evolve out of the information age into the telepathic age together. This is going to conclude our session of Sync Talk. Peace.